What's happening, everyone? Aaron Jackson here, aka Rotation Report, aka ATM Charts, aka whoever. This is not financial advice. Do me a favor and take a damn hint. Uh, First off, we got to start off with King Larry. Man, Oracle. What they add a couple hundred billion worth market cap today? Incredible. Larry's the richest man in the world now, and he's a Michigan football donor, by the way. So good luck, Ohio State. We're going to get an edge rusher too. We're going to get some more wide receivers. It's just a matter of time. But no, so everyone wants to know, oh my God, this Oracle move is at the top. Is there another leg? Let's get right into it. So we've got, first of all, Oracle in the quarter announced $317 billion worth of new contracts, new deals. So how much did you sign in this last quarter? Not 317 billion. We got a couple quotes here. We might as well just start with those. He said, Larry mentioned like a couple quarters ago, someone called him up. He's like, hey, we'll take all the capacity you have that's not currently being used anywhere in the world. So that's the situation coming into the quarter, right? And the whole point is like, okay, everyone's spent the money on the training, and now you got to do the inference, and you got to put these data centers up. So you gotta get your return on investment. So if you're looking for the end of the AI bubble, you have to build this shit first, and then realize, oh shit. After everyone's like, oh shit, this didn't pay off. That's when it's really risky, right? And another quote. Basically they said they run the Oracle cloud at 1% of the price of the competitors. Now, okay, 1%, like, let's be honest, probably bullshit. Good quote though. Good quote, but it's the point. The main point is like they've dedicated their whole careers to building the best cloud infrastructure, and now it's time to cash in on that. Everyone wants their shit, whether it's company, a hyperscaler, Amazon, freaking the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, whoever the fuck, right? They all want the shit. All right, and with that, let's dive to the chart here. Boy, hell of a move today. My God, if you missed the trade, you missed the trade. People will tell you, hey, the post earnings drift, like it can keep going up post earnings. Maybe it does. 330, this is basically what you were looking for. If you were a bull coming into the report, you're like, all right, 330-ish, that's our next target area. That's what we're betting on. Well, you got it. Can it continue? Sure. Maybe it can. Oh, shit. Well, now you can see the chart. Yeah. Anyways, this 330 area, target area, and we're good to go. Next up. Okay. So the other thing in the news today, we got some Russia headlines. They're flying into NATO territory just to see how NATO will react, right? You had that big, love fest between all the, League of Evil Nations or whatever you want to call them. And today we've got the vol of volatility spiking a little bit. So definitely want to be wary of that. And then you zoom out a little bit. The bond volatility bottomed here last week, and it could be set for a rise. So you want to say, hey, we can't chase the AI here. Well, that's why you wouldn't, right? Hey, we're in the seasonal window. You get to the back half of the month. That's moving money around at the end of the fiscal year. You never know what can happen. Definitely something to be aware of. But as we go on here, we'll get into the AI a little bit. There's a lot of fresh legs out there. And then we're looking at this. This is a common popular breadth measure that's just new highs versus new lows on the New York Stock Exchange. Big area here. There's a chance breadth completely deteriorates or it just bottoms here in the next few weeks. Keeping an eye on it. So far, so good. But now let's get into the AI. Here's semis versus S&P 500 breaking out, it appears. So we're looking at semis. They can have some room. Astera Labs. This is one of those super hot networking stocks. Networking is where we want to be first and foremost. If you're not in memory, you want to be in networking. Networking still probably first. Anyways, you can see like a lot of consolidations here, right? This thing is consolidated for a month and a half. And then just last week, coming into the week, broke out. And now you get to this little extension target from the prior base. You bottom there yesterday and higher. So sure, can it go back to 208? Yeah, sure, I guess. If not, it's just going to kind of drift, and you have the next target area. It's kind of up 300, above 300. And then here's an interesting one. Okay, we've got short data coming out 3:30, something like that this afternoon. We're going to get updated short information, see these short floats. CoreWeave had 20% shorts as of August 15th, and that's where the data's at. We're going to get some data for, August 30th, whatever, something like that today. So 20% was the number. And it's really interesting because now CoreWeave's hot because, right, everyone, look, it's the race is on for the cloud infrastructure. We've got more data points supporting that. But right now, CoreWeave's testing the 50-day moving average. If you take the recent few weeks of price action here, we've already kind of met the little measured move target. So let's see where this number comes in. I'm thinking it could be 25, 28, something bigger, but we'll have to see about that one. And next up, interesting. So we've got some nuclear opportunities, maybe. Nuclear may be trying to take a new leg. And, you could say, well, NuScale SMR, it's expensive, it's overvalued. Well, 31% of the float is short here. Okay. So yes, we all agree. We all agree it's overdone. It's also kind of basing in an uptrend. You could say, no, this is a top. You could. Maybe it is. You could also say, this is not a top. This is starting to morph into something that's going to start climbing higher here in the next few weeks. I don't know. It does seem like nuclear is trying to go. We're going to know in the next few days if it's really going to push through or not. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this SMR here. It's about flat on the day. So definitely one of the more speculative names to keep an eye on there. And then, don't let them tell you, oh, everything's extended. There's no opportunity. Here's Vertiv Holdings. It's like chiller. It's data center cooling. That's what it is. Yeah. Anyways, flat for, year to date, basically. Since January, it's actually down. And what is this? We have a nice little cut, maybe a little handle. Is that what this is here? A little continuation setup, breaking the downtrend today. So it looks like something that can go back to the old high at least. Now you want to say, oh, it's going to stall out at mid 150s, maybe, or maybe it doesn't. Don't let them tell you there's no opportunities out here because that's just a load of bullshit. And this TeraWulf, that's another. We've got these crypto miners, Bitcoin miners that are also AI infrastructure plays. And check this out. A month ago, TeraWulf signed a deal with Google. Google has big, I think it's 8% stake in the company. And you can see that was this boner candle here, this freaking thing. And then over the last few weeks, look at that consolidation. There's just no sellers. And the short data we talked about, it's updated as of August 15th, which was the day after, right? That was basically the end of this candle here, the day after that Google deal was announced. And there were 35% shorts, something like that. So we want to see where that short interest number is. Is it still above 30? My God, could it be? Right now, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So this tight little consolidation, I mean, that is an epic, not giving anything back consolidation. You get this high, if the shorts haven't budged, like this could be the start of an entire new leg here. And here's the nuclear ETF NLR. You can see, look at that. 52-week highs there. Nice little base, gone nowhere for 2 months, right? Like everyone's waiting for their opportunities to get in the AI. Well, shit. Fresh breakout after a couple month base. I mean, looks pretty good, doesn't it? So, we're looking at like a CCJ, Cameco, there's Centrus, LEU, stuff like that. And then your SMR type names, maybe an Oklo, maybe. And then we have data center construction, Quanta Services. Look at that. Just based for a couple months, held up above the prior high, now trying to turn the corner. Could have turned lower again later in the week, maybe. But for now, pretty solid. And next up, we've got Vistra. Yeah, look at this, nuclear utility. So there are a lot of gas utility, but it's the big play was it's a nuclear ute. And look at this thing, another one, just been basing since mid-June? Like we've been looking at versus this old high, this January high, and you're like, oh, we don't want it here. But over the last couple of weeks, it really shaped up. Last week, it rejected lower. This 180, it really rejected lower. And now look at it, broke the downtrend from the high. Could just be day one of the new leg here. And then look at the Bitcoin miner ETF. Look at that thing. You had a test of prior all-time highs. You sell off right back to the prior resistance there, 27 plus. And now just like that, boom, all-time high. People want the AI infrastructure. And here we go, utilities. Man, just coming into the week, it was like, oh, are the utilities relative strength? Is that about to break down? Are they about to lag? Well, look at that comeback today, probably thanks to your Constellation, your nuclear utilities like the Vistra. And then here's SMH semis. Okay. Another one just basing for 2 months now, held in there, took every punch the market had. And now what? Is it really going to make 52-week highs here? It's a couple percent away. Like, so this thing is going to make what, 52-week highs after going nowhere for 2 months. And then what? We're just supposed to be bearish, or more likely it's a whole other leg higher. And there's another look at the NLR. Yeah, definitely wanted to get that one in there. And then next up, we've got Cadence Design Systems. It's software. It's the software for designing chips. Competitor had earnings, got smoked, and this thing is back testing the old high. So that's kind of interesting, although probably not the top of the list because, people are, for a little bit, people are going to be considering that competitor's earnings. But, good area there. It's what we like to see, right? And then, so we've been talking about bond volatility, and boy, that trade has not materialized at all. In fact, I was talking about this Tradeweb, but it just didn't do it. It just didn't do it. There is some support around here, no doubt, but I think they had monthly trading data out last week, and they lost market share to a competitor. So, it can hang in here, but I punted it. As soon as you learn they lose market share to the competitor, it's like, why? And then moving on, we've got a few things we're still keeping an eye on. The international treasury bonds, they still, TLT is bid, still can roll over. Consumer, okay. It is not all as well out here. No doubt about that. That is a sure thing here. Look at Chipotle just breaking the hell down. Look at that. It had a nice little setup there earlier in the year. Looked like it was just going to bottom there and kind of continue, or maybe even hold up around this 200-week. No, it's done. It's toast. And then, next up, we've got solar and lithium. Boy, okay, big problem in the solar and lithium. The problem is they're highly dependent on what China does. Now, a couple months ago, China was like, no, state orders, stop with the unprofitable production. Let's just cut that shit out. So then that got all the solar prices, the polysilicon prices to rise. And then all of a sudden, the world's biggest battery company, CATL, over in China, restarted a mine. They got a permit. They restarted it. It was very unexpected. And since then, been a dead weight on the whole, lithium, rare earth, solar kind of space there. And you can see, bigger picture, lit still holds up. Global lithium still holds up fine. So it's not the end times, but certainly not ideal. And then let's not act like there aren't other opportunities out here like biotech. Now this piece of shit, BioNano, BNGO, look at that thing bottom. Hadn't heard this one since prime Kathy Wood era, but the volume is there. And I'm not saying buy this piece of garbage because you got a falling 200-day right there, but I'm just saying, like, don't be afraid to look deep in the biotech book. And then here's that bigger play on the bond volatility that seemed to have taken some share from Tradeweb. I don't know. You could say there's some support around here, but my God, is it really worth it? And then moving on, we've got the 3-month U.S. Treasury yield. Look at that 200-week moving average in play here. Thought that was interesting. Fed's going to cut next week, right? So see how that reacts there. But just another one of those long-term views in treasuries and bonds where you're like, wait a minute, yields should be spiking. And then here's another consumer chart. Vail Resorts, skiing resorts. Tough time out there for the old skiing consumer. I don't know. What do you think? It's just a bunch of bureaucrats out there, a bunch of white collar workers that like to go skiing? Maybe, because this thing, that's kind of getting a little nasty there. And then, crypto, we've got Bitcoin. How about it? 50-day moving average test here in Bitcoin. I don't know. It's holding up. You'd think it would go higher. We'll see how that goes. Ethereum's very interesting. God, why won't this thing just test 4,100? Just let it test 4,100 already, right? Jesus Christ. This coil, it's all coiled up, ready to go. We'll see what happens. Maybe, hey, there's another inflation print tomorrow. Something goes on with NATO. Freaking Russia bombs Poland or some shit. Who knows? 4,100 could be in play. And then, yeah, just waiting. Got a little cash set aside, just waiting for that 4,100 test, but we'll see what happens. And then I was looking at some of these other names and cryptos. Stellar, I don't know. That's an interesting little consolidation. I mean, we'll see if it gets through like 40, 42, something like that. Get through that. Would that be another leg developing here? Interesting looker. And then, yeah, oh, yeah. So, we can say, oh, there's little caution flags in the tape. And we can also say every single caution flag that has popped up has just gotten steamrolled here. And that includes low volatility for S&P low volatility versus the S&P 500, which, hey, nothing says bull market like that. So, you try to say, hey, no, let's get away from the big tech a little bit. And the market just freaking steamrolls you. So we'll see. It's last gasp time for the SPLV. No doubt about that. And then, yeah, look at this. Small caps versus large caps. Is that a rollover here? Man, just when you think smaller is better. Just when you think it. And then stock versus bonds. So over the last few days with the TLT rip, the Treasury yield dropped pretty sharp, right? But still, structurally, not even close. Not a question. Stocks over bonds for now. So yeah, that'll just about do it for today. And good luck out there. And seems like I don't know, tapes whatever fading. Definitely keep an eye on that VVIX being green. That's a little bit of a hint. And no doubt some people are selling on some of those Russia headlines. And if you look at some of these damn AI stocks, some of these things are just massive straight line moves. So, don't be greedy, but don't be fearful either. And if you like the video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, whatever, all the things. And with that, everyone, y'all have a great day.